think we are live. Oh, recording has started. Okay.
Yeah, Arabi, how are you?
Ah, I haven't been well for some time now, but I'm better now. Better
Oh,
than
okay.
before. How have you
All right.
been?
Yeah, by His grace, I'm also fine here. We thank
How's
the
your wife?
Almighty God for Arabi. She's doing well.
How's your baby?
Yeah, they are all fine.
Thank God. I know it's
We
your
are just
number, right?
waiting for your invitation.
It is well. God can do all
All
things.
right. Okay, so thank you everybody for tuning in as
I think
usual
recording hasn't
today.
started. Or
Yes, we are
recording has started.
live.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, no problem. So thank you everybody for joining us live today. We thank the Almighty God for another beautiful day. In fact, one of the most precious gifts you can always boast of is when you have life. When you have life, there is hope. When you have life, there is destiny. When you have life, there's breakthrough. And when you have life, you can secure full scholarship. So don't joke with the life that you want. Join us live today as we walk you through our Study Abroad podcast. In fact, today is going to be one of the fantastic episodes. And as we've told you, we are trying to make things easier for you. And not just studying, but also trying to understand the life abroad as well. So today I have with me Arabi. We will be co-hosting today's podcast, and our guest will join us along the line. Arabi, any short message for our
Hi there.
audience today?
Welcome again. And it's been a while. I joined. I wasn't feeling like I was under the weather for some time, but by the grace of God, I'm better. I am super excited to have or share my afternoon, Saturday afternoon with you all. Just as you said, I'm quite here. If you have life, you're able to do your study abroad thing. So regardless of whatever you're going through, I know it's a season where people are receiving their admission and denial letter. If you have a denial letter, it shouldn't deter you from trying again. We are here to support you. The Fed Effect team is here to support you, to see you through and excel in your study abroad journey. So join us for a very insightful, educative, and a very entertaining session again this Saturday or today. Mhm.
Yeah, nice one. So let's bring our guest on board. Hello,
Hello.
Panashi.
Hi, how are you guys?
Yes, we are doing good, and you?
I'm okay. This is my first live stream.
For
Oh,
2026 or your first ever.
My first ever on like
Oh,
a platform like this. I think I've done like one or two on Instagram, but yeah.
I like your duku.
Oh,
Please, those
cool. Are
listen
you
to us,
sure?
the Ghanaians, what is the English name for duku?
Wait, do they call it
Arabi,
Dugu
do you
in
know?
Ghana?
I think it's calf.
Yes.
Yeah, we call it duku in Ghana.
That's what we call it in Shona too. In Zimbabwe, literally the same word.
Duku.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a Duku. That's what it is.
Duku, yeah.
Ah,
That's crazy. I always love when I
Oh,
see like similarities in our
mm-hmm,
languages.
mm-hmm. There's a lot of
yeah.
similarities in the languages.
Oh wow. Yes,
So
of
I'm
course.
not wrong.
Yeah. I mean the English word is a head wrap, but who needs English when you have
You
When
can
we
say
have
you can
duku.
say duku.
when you have Twi and Shona.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Hi,
Hey,
Panashi,
I
how are
see.
you? How have you been?
I'm good, thank you. Just hanging in there, trying to get my Saturday started. But the week went by super fast, like just so busy. But yeah, grateful to God. Like you said, it's good to be busy, to have something to do.
Hmm.
So yeah,
It gives you clarity and purpose if you have
yeah.
something doing. Yeah. So Panashi, what's the meaning of Panashi? What's the meaning of your name? What does it mean?
It means where God is.
Where God is.
Hmm.
Oh, Panashi, where God is.
Yeah,
Is
like
it?
God sitting on me.
Is it biblical? Like, is it in the Bible or it's your language? Like, what's it?
No, it's Shona.
It's
It's
Shona.
Shona.
Okay.
Mm.
Panache. Maybe some years, if I have a baby girl, I'll name
Call
him
her
Panache.
Panache. Oh, that's cute. I mean, it's a unisex name, so feel free.
Where
Either way.
God is. Panache. I
Yeah.
think I like it.
Yeah.
Where
Thank you.
God
What
is.
does RB mean?
Oh, Arabi means is Araba. And in
Okay.
Ghana, the Tuesday, yes, a female born on a Tuesday is called Araba in the fancy dialect. So it's
Ah.
Araba that I've made it Arabi, Arabi, Arabi. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Yeah,
I
I
was
remember.
born on a Tuesday, yeah, and I'm Araba, and I made it Arabi.
Pretty.
Hmm.
Great. Ben, we don't deal with English names. Sorry.
All
That's
right.
okay.
Okay, Panache, you are welcome. Do you want to kindly briefly introduce yourself, your name, what you're currently doing, and all
Uh,
of that to our viewers?
yeah. So my name is Panache, and I am working with Cabo to make housing easier for international students. And we help with like verification and matching you with landlords before you come into the country, so you don't have to worry about that. I myself was also came here as an international student here in the US, and I can definitely testify to just how difficult it can be to get somewhere to stay, especially um, when you are an international person, because you need like the credit score and some kind of track record to be able to get housing and a long term lease. But a lot of us coming into the country will not have that, so it makes it super difficult. And even when you do have a long term, when you have a credit card, I mean, sorry, a credit score, um you still can face some difficulties, because a lot of these apartment buildings want to make you pay exorbitant application fees, and it's really difficult to just have a process that is streamlined all on one platform. You can wait weeks for your verification to come back from the IRS, whatever they do with verifying your history. So, and I've also experienced that personally. So I just love how Carbo streamlines that whole process all in one app. And even for on the side of getting maintenance on your apartment while you're staying there, you can still do it through Carbo. And so they really just made it easy. And honestly, it's more than just an app. It's really revolutionizing, how we travel. This, well,
Panache,
yeah.
I think that we have to reserve this conversation to the latter
Yes,
part, where we
we
have
would
a lot
really
of
come
our
and talk
audience
about
joining.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Carbo.
I'm just so passionate about it. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I know you're
We
fine.
yeah, we are fine. Just that we don't want to miss it. So
No worries, no
just keep
worries.
it, yes, keep it slowly for us so that later
Yeah.
you bring it out. Because
Okay.
you know, sometimes one of the difficult, I remember I had a friend who was complaining like when he traveled, it took him some months before he was able to settle, and I'm sure a lot of us might have gone through. So today hosting you will be one of the best podcasts, because you will show us one of the ways to escape this housing trauma when we travel for the first time. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely we will come back to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Aravi.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. So Panache, we are tackling your aspect as an international student and your processes. Then we come to talk about Cabo and how Cabo can be or is beneficial to the international students, and how you find up how you found Cabo and how you got in touch with them and all of that. So let's move to your international student aspect now. Then we come to Cabo. So you said you came here as an international student. Where do you live in the US, and how long have you been here?
So I live in San Francisco, but I've lived in Atlanta. When I came, I went straight to Atlanta, and then I also moved to Nashville for a job, and then now I'm here in the Bay Area. Yeah, I moved here about 5 years ago this year in August.
Wow.
You've been here for long. So
Mhm.
what school brought you here?
Kennesaw State
Okay.
University. Yes.
Oh, okay. What program did you read?
Electrical engineering is what I studied.
Your master's in electrical engineering.
No, my undergrad.
Your undergrad. Oh, okay. So, do you have a master's or it's just your undergrad?
No, I don't have my master's yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
you're
I'm
gonna get
supposed to
it.
go in August for my master's
Ah,
um in the UK. So
wow!
that's
Congratulations. You are leaving me. You are going to Ben.
yes, yeah, this is
You are
it's
leaving me to Ben.
too much wahala on the side for right now. Let me leave you to it.
I understand what is it.
Yeah,
So you
you're
came here.
welcome to UK.
I'll see you there
Yeah,
soon.
sure.
I would love to be there yesterday, but just finishing up some things. But yeah, that's kind of my journey. Moving around.
Yeah.
So you came from
Hopefully I'll meet you.
Zimbabwe.
Hopefully I will meet you at the airport.
Of course, of course. I'll be waiting for my ride
Sure.
from Heathrow.
All right.
So Panache, you moved from Zimbabwe to the US as undergrad to
Mm-hmm.
study engineering, right?
Mm-hmm.
What inspired this journey, and why did you choose US? Like,
Honestly, the US chose me. I actually never really wanted to come here because
no. Hmm.
I was like, this. I just, when you see things online, you're like, this is just too wild for me. Like, but then I couldn't go to the UK because they denied my visa at that time. And then the opportunity just came to come here, and honestly, you have to grab opportunity, with both hands when you get it. So that's when I then came here, and I was supposed to come during COVID, but it was like super difficult to come over because again, like COVID. So I had to wait like a year and kind of defer. But I was already in school in Zimbabwe, so I managed to transfer a lot of my credits when I came here. So then I only did like 2 years in school, which was really helpful. I think that's one thing about when you're looking for a school, if there's a way you can find out just well, before you leave, you need to go to your current school and get your transcript, because it's difficult to then get it while you're here, because some of our schools back home, they don't have that communication system and you can just easily get your thing. So get your transcript, get your curriculum from like when you started, because they want to see what is in the modules that you studied. So you want, even if you can get the course outlines, the course content of everything you studied, get it on a drive, and then you can go to your international students office, to your transfer specialists, and then give them those your transcript and the course outlines, so that they can see what matches up with what they would consider, credits in the system. But you still have to do the general education ones, which are like the history, philosophy, music, theater, whatever you choose, which is the gen ed classes that well, I think it's the liberal arts system is what they do here in the US. So you have to do some liberal arts at first. So that's what took me about a year to get through that. And then you still have to get a minimum number of hours at that school to be able to graduate from that school in that degree. So what that means is, like, I'm doing electrical engineering, and even if I had done some things back in Zimbabwe, I still have to do, I think, at least 40 hours at that school to be able to graduate from that school in electrical engineering. So that then took me another year or so. So, but at least I didn't have to start from scratch. I just finished up, and then I graduated in 2023.
Mm. It's like we are building an interesting story over there. So in Zimbabwe, you didn't complete or finish your undergrad. You transferred your credits over here. If I'm understanding you well,
Yeah,
that's what you said, right?
yeah, but I can still go back and finish in Zimbabwe. Actually, I was thinking about it. They start in August. I may go and finish it. I only had 1 year left, But then again, like I said, you have to take opportunity. You can't wait until you finish a year and then next year maybe that opportunity is not available again. So I just decided to transfer.
So if our listeners are listening to you and following your story, you are telling them that they don't necessarily have to complete or finish their undergrad in their home countries before they move here. They can move here if they have substantial credits and then transfer it. When they
Mm,
do that, they're going to start from their level three. I mean, level three, and here they are, yeah, they are called juniors. They're going to start as juniors, then they move to seniors, and they graduate. They wouldn't have to start as fresh years or freshmen. Is that
yeah,
what you're saying?
but you still have to do the freshman kind of courses as well. That's
Yeah.
what I think. But then yeah, and I think it's even cheaper that way if you do it that way. If you start do
Okay.
your 2 years in Africa and then come and do the rest of the 2 years here, it makes it cheaper for you versus paying the whole thing. I
Okay.
know that there's some Cameroon program that does it at Kennesaw, where that's what they do. They facilitate that transfer at the 2 year mark, and then the Cameroonians will come. Um, I will say like I lost my train of thought, but ultimately, oh yeah, when if you're studying in a different language that's not English, you have to factor that in as well. You're gonna have to
Mm,
transfer your language. If it's from French, you have to transfer it to English. That part too. But if it's English, it should be fairly straightforward.
mm. Okay. Thank you for establishing that fact. So, you also said you did UK application. So, is it just US and UK applications you did, or you did other countries application in other countries as well?
I think I may have applied to China, but it was just like too many scams at that point, like too many people. That's when people started to go to China a lot, and you get this person, oh, I'm an agent. And what I didn't like about China was like some of these schools that were springing up were just shady. They were just like these little colleges springing up, and then you go to a random college, do a degree, and it's like nobody knows about those colleges. And then at the end of the day, see, what I've seen too is when I'm applying for my master's now in the UK, they want me to do a 4 year long, English, taught in English, blah blah blah. So if you go again to China and you're from Zimbabwe, where they don't recognize that we speak English, which is so crazy because what do they think we speak? Like it's crazy. Um, but you go and then you then end up going to China again, another non-English speaking country. It makes it very difficult for you to then continue with your studies.
Mm.
So I did apply to China. Yeah, those are the other places.
So, USA, China, UK, but you didn't even consider China because of one language and two, the colleges were kind of didn't have a name and all of that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I even got in. Like I said, the process was very shady. It
Mm.
ended up just being super shady, and like I didn't do it. But I also want to encourage students to be intentional about their learning journey. First and foremost, you don't in Zimbabwe we call it A level. Like we write Form 1 to Form 4, which is the O levels, and then you go and do another 2 years after you've written that. I don't know if you guys do that, but you don't actually need to go for A level. That's just the truth. And I know it's difficult pill for people to swallow because especially in Zimbabwe these days, those kids, they're doing 12 subjects at A level, and we only used to do three, but they're just doing like so many. And I'm like, you actually don't need to do that. First and foremost, that's money that you're paying after Form 4. And then secondly, you can still get into college with just your O levels and apply directly. So start to think about that. Even the parents, if there's any parents that are here, be very intentional about planning this with your children as well. And then there's a lot of scholarships. There's this one colleague of mine that we knew each other from high school, And he ended up coming straight to Stanford, graduated from Stanford, and from then, your life is kind of on a different trajectory. When me, I'm still trying to like make a name for myself. He just went to Stanford, and we were at the same level. So again, he was very intentional. He already knew about Stanford. He knew about investment banking. I'm not saying go and do investment banking, but I think there's a lot to be done when it comes to like exposing kids, and that's why I'm very passionate about career guidance and like mentorship,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to expand your mind and start to think about how are these opportunities going to also be now available to you. Because if I'm sitting next to someone and then I end up going to Kennesaw, no hate on Kennesaw, right? It was fine and I felt supported in that environment, but I'm sitting next to someone and they go to Stanford and I go to Kennesaw. There was just like no intentionality on my side. I didn't even know much about Stanford, or Harvard or whatever else it is, Princeton. There are opportunities to do this, and a lot of people are doing it. It's just the information has to go down.
Information. Yeah, that is what the Fair Defense stands for. Information, giving out information to people who don't have any information, who don't have any career advice, who don't know their where to start from. That is what the Fair Defense stands for. Okay, so now let's move away from US, UK, China. Let's get back to US. You are here, so let's talk about US. How many schools did you apply to when you were doing your US application?
I just applied to one actually because I did the Georgia Rotary Student Program, which is like Rotary chooses you submit your application, to the scholarship, and it's supposed to be an exchange scholarship actually, so it's supposed to just last for a year, but you get an F1 visa, so not a J1. And then they choose, it's for Georgia, it's for the state of Georgia, so then they
Okay.
choose a school that's close to the club, that Rotary club, and then that's the school that you apply to and go to. I hope that makes
Okay.
sense, but it's just generally like if you're picked by a club that is close to, let's say, Atlanta Rotary, if they pick you as like, we want the students, they pick students from Africa, Asia, Europe, anywhere globally, right? And they say we've picked you and we're in Atlanta, you need to be at a school that is close to where they're at, so that it's easy for them to get you involved with like their club. So then I
Oh,
did
okay.
there, and then I decided to stay. So I got the RA. I became an RA, which is a resident assistant, so that you
Mm.
don't have to pay for housing. And then I kind of had to hustle the other money for my school. But then I also made sure I passed my grades. So if you pass, then you get in-state tuition. If you have like I think if you're on the president's list, or there's like a threshold, like maybe 3.5 GPA or something, but then you get in-state tuition. So for the last year I had in-state tuition and I had accommodation because I was an RA, so then I had
Okay.
like 3K or something. It wasn't too much, so
Mm. Okay. So we are going to talk about your RA now because I mean, as an RHD, I'm so interested in RA and all in residence hall and all of that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about. So did you get any denial because you were just picked by the Rotary Club and all of that? Did you get some denials, or the Rotary Club did a good job by just pairing you with a school that they think it was appropriate for your degree and then your CGP and all of
Yeah, no, they had nothing to do with like my degree and stuff. I just
that?
had to
Okay.
pass my GPA. I had to pass my SATs. And so since I passed, the admissions process is separate from the scholarship process. They just tell
Hmm.
you that you need to apply to this school in particular.
Okay.
But
So you didn't get any denial from any school just because you did one school application.
yeah, yeah, I didn't get any denial, but I've been getting denials. But
So
I,
tell us about denials. If I
so
mean our listeners are listening, how does it feel if you get a denial?
it sucks. It really sucks. I've been applying to like Oxford and Cambridge, and they've denied me. I've been denied by all the. I've actually had interviews with like Apple, Google, Amazon. All of them have denied me. You get denied in life. You just, the CEO of Alibaba was also denied from like Cambridge, Oxford, when he was trying to apply to Harvard, and now he's a billionaire. I think don't let denial is redirection, and it's not a reflection of your character or who you are as a person or what you can do. I think you just have to remain focused and pivot. If something else is not working, another thing will work. I was applying to Oxford and Cambridge, but I already have a place at a different university. And it's just like, if that's what God wants for me, then I will do that. But it's not, they'll wish that they admitted me, those people, once the time comes. Or maybe they won't even care, but my life will still continue. So
Regardless, yeah.
yeah, it's not a reflect. I just think maybe people take it super personally, and then it's like, oh, who am I? I'm not worthy. That's not how it is. You just pivot. You just literally have to keep it moving.
Okay. So if anybody is listening to us and you have a denial, I mean, this season, especially this month, it's a month of either admission, denial, whatever. Please, just as Panashi has said, pivot. Keep going, keep moving, because denial is not a reflection of your capabilities or your abilities. All right, Ben, you might want to continue.
All right. Thank you so much. I've been secretly enjoying the conversation. Yeah. Panashi, we just want to know, how difficult was it for you to transfer from Zimbabwe to US? And is it something you encourage your fellow colleagues who are in Zimbabwe to do so?
Um, I would say like maybe like a 6 out of 10, because I had our international students, or like my transfer specialist, was super helpful, and she made everything very clear for me. She just told me that that's why I was saying it would have been easier if I knew that this is what I needed to do and collect my course outlines and my transcripts and stuff. I had collected my transcript. Just, just, I guess I'm
Does
just
it
like,
mean that you started the process without knowing what it entails? Was that your case?
um, yes, so basically, no, but I think I was just thinking about it, but I just didn't know, because I think I had an idea. I wanted to get into mechatronics, or yeah, something with robotics, once I got there. But then she said that this if you want to take this track, you're gonna have to do more classes and like stay in school for longer, versus if you did electrical engineering, because I was doing electronics engineering in Zimbabwe. So she said that if you now continue to do, if you want to do mechatronics, you're gonna have to stay for longer. And so I I ended up doing electrical engineering. But then I think I had an idea. All I had collected though was my transcript. I didn't have the course outlines and all of that. So it would have been easier, because now I had to look for my professors and ask this person online on email. And sometimes people don't check their emails, but it worked out. So I think that's what made it a bit difficult. But then ultimately I also had people that were very useful to me. Like, my professor sent me what I needed from Zimbabwe, and then my transfer specialist was super helpful. And I would definitely encourage people to do that. Like I said, it lowers your costs if you start somewhere and then you continue somewhere else. But at the same time, it may be difficult to get like a scholarship that's just going to pay for 2 years of your school. But what I do know is a lot of people are coming from Zimbabwe, and they are doing this thing where they get loans. It's called, I have to think about what it's called. I forgot, but they get this loan for school, so they actually have to pay back. So if you have a loan, if you're gonna get a loan, then you cut it in half by starting in Zimbabwe and then coming here, and you can
Okay.
still transfer your credits. Yeah, it's just about like planning, of course. But yeah, I would encourage you all to do it.
Oh, okay. So
You
those of us,
have to figure out first before you go to the school, like how good is their international students office? How are they going to be assisting you? Do they have a transfer specialist? What is their process so that you know what you need to get before you come?
oh, okay. So those of us listening to us from Zimbabwe, Panashi is saying that she would encourage you, especially if you are in school, if there is opportunity for you to transfer, she would encourage you to do so. But Panashi, the question will be why? Why would you encourage us to transfer and come to US?
Or why the US? I think, you definitely. I've met more Africans in the US than I ever did in Zimbabwe. Obviously, in Zimbabwe, I was just around other Zimbabweans. So I think we're not. I really think we should evolve in the continent too, so we can mix more. But I think for me, I'm very Pan African, so it's been really nice, like meeting other Africans, looking out for each other, and it really promotes, that sense of unity. But even outside of like Africans as well, you just get to understand different cultures, and you have a better I won't say a better per se worldview, but yeah, a better worldview. I think ultimately we are citizens of the globe. Like people come to Africa and take whatever they want. We should also be able to go to other countries and take whatever we want.
Can you repeat that one again? Can you repeat that one again? I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like people can go to our continent and ravage it, and then we are all, I think sometimes we're very, even me, I'm very like Pan-African, where it's like I feel like, oh, everything is just like in Africa, but no, the whole world is up for grabs. Like, so we need to get our cut anywhere that we can get it. And it's for the benefit of us and for the benefit of our people. And I think moving away gives you like a worldview. It makes you also challenge yourself outside of the constraints of what you're used to, what is familiar to you. And it's always said like what you desire is on the other side of your comfort zone, right? So try to put yourself in like edge situations. For me, this was an extreme edge, right? Which is leaving my country by myself and coming to this country. But that's the type of person I am. Maybe for other people that's a bit too much. So whatever it is, even if you move away from your home city and go to another city, make sure you take care of yourself. It's not easy. Like I feel like when I moved, the culture is different, especially in Atlanta. You can get a little fake, so you think people are your friends, they're not really your friends, and it's like when things hit the fan, you're by yourself. So I think it's you need to build some resiliency, but ultimately go out there and see what's out there in the world. That's why I would say come, go, leave where you're at. And America is good because it is a melting pot. It was better, I think, before COVID. Even when I got here, things were just like on the downward spiral. The prices of things were just going up at that point, and now it's I have anxiety every day, honestly, about what's going on here with the political situation. But I know this is not a political podcast, but
Yeah, we will touch on that later. We will touch on the
but
politics of the world. But
ultimately,
I mean,
just travel. Yeah, it's okay.
yeah, just travel. Yeah. So you are asking us to
No.
just travel, just as if I mean, it's just traveling, but it costs a lot with just traveling. So how much did it cost you with all your processes, with your visa interview, with your service fee and all of that? How much did it cost you?
I think I think the interview process might have been, I don't know why $450 is coming to mind. And then obviously for me the ticket was super expensive because I had to buy it a few days before I flew out.
Mm,
Because again, school was about to start. it was just after COVID, so getting interviews was like you get it last minute. I had to ask like for people to reach out to different people that they knew at the consulate, um, which I don't know if it made a difference or not, but um then I got my visa and I had to go out, because if I hadn't gone out when school starts, then it lapses, right? Like then the offer lapses and stuff. So I had to make it super quick. It was pretty expensive, and it's not easy. I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity to do that. Um so yeah, it's not easy at
Yeah.
all. So I think there's a lot of, things that are out of our control. No one could control COVID. And sometimes it's again like, okay, maybe this time it didn't work. Just plan maybe better for another time. Yeah. But I
Okay.
can't really give. I think you need to think about like the obviously the travel cost of the ticket itself.
Mhm.
Again, like when you get there, where are you going to live?
Mhm.
The application fees, and
Mhm.
then transportation fees to go back and forth wherever you're
Mhm.
coming from and going to go to the embassy. So it's stuff like that that you have to take into account.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. But when you were starting, or when you started all this process, you were a student, an undergraduate student. So
Mhm.
how do you come by money to service or pay for all of these? Was it by your parents, your friends, family? How are you able to sort all these things out?
Yeah, it was my family. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, it was my mom who helped me out.
Okay. All right.
But
Thanks for sharing that.
I'm also a hoarder. Like I am, well, not a hoarder, but I'm very frugal sometimes. So I save. So for me, um, I probably had like a bit of money for the other things, like maybe paying for my first SAT stuff. I didn't really do anything like entrepreneurial, but I can save money. So I don't really spend a lot, like I'm good at that, so I guess maybe that also helped. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I was saying maybe planning is important.
Planning and budgeting.
So
So
you can.
I mean, all the people listening, before parents come in, friends come in to support you, you should also have something saved for yourself, so that when you start, they can support you. You don't have to rely solely on family or friends or people you think that they can help. Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you are listening, please start saving. Oh, I think if you come to somebody and say, "Hey, Fred, I've saved for maybe my flight. I need just $100 to top up." Even if it's a loan, I think he can give you. But if you ask him to, can you pay my flight? Let's say $2,000. That raises an eyebrow. Like,
Mhm.
haven't you done anything yourself? You get to. So if you save, if you budget, somebody can come in and help you or support you. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that, Sanashi. So now taking your transcripts, visa interviews, and all of that. Did you do an interview at Zimbabwe? Let me even get that.
Yeah,
Or
a
you
visa.
traveled elsewhere? Your interview was in Zimbabwe.
Mhm.
Okay. Your visa and everything. What do you think is the hardest part of this journey?
um I think, just like leaving home was very difficult, and the first like year is very difficult as well, because you're transitioning to a new environment. There's like culture shock, and you miss home. Like I missed Zimbabwe for a year almost after I was here, and my friend ended up was like, you need to stop living in the past and live in the moment. And obviously when I was in Zimbabwe, I was praying on my elbows and knees to leave. But once you leave, you get the reality that, okay, yeah, this is not home anymore. And like I said, I think also finding your community is very key. But then it's also difficult because you land with like people that are kind of flimsy, and then but once you find a community for yourself, it makes it also easier to cope. But yeah, one of even finances are difficult too, when you're starting out, because you have to get I was working multiple jobs while I was in school as well, just to make ends meet for myself. Because once my mom had paid for all of that, that was what she had. Now I had to make sure I came here and I worked. And so again, and you have to keep things. So you have to keep things like balanced, because like I said, some of the things are like you're doing well in school, so your school fees come down. You have good conduct, so you get an RA position, because those are also competitive. A lot of people want to be RA so they don't have to pay for accommodation. So you have to balance out all these different things and think about like different strategies that make your journey successful. Get multiple jobs, get some discounts, apply for some scholarships. There were some that were available, as well. Just tell people your story, because people will help, especially here now in America. It's more difficult to find people in Zimbabwe to say, I want to do this, please help me out. But in America, there's, people that have some disposable income that would want to. Some people have like this savior complex that, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, like tell your story, your sob story, and make it so that you continue. Like, you have to humble yourself and tell people your story, and some people will be able to help you.
They
So
didn't help
I had a lot of people help me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ben?
Yeah, Arabi, thank you. So, having studied in Zimbabwe for your bachelor's and then going to US to continue, how can you compare the studying environment? Did you see
Oh
any
no, it's
difference?
much better. Yeah, I can't lie, it's better here. Like when I was in Zimbabwe, our labs, and I was studying engineering, like we would be sharing one old computer, like with like 20 other people. We had no library on campus at my school. Um, just the lab sessions were just very, very sad. Um, the Sometimes you have it's those kind of schools where you have to go grab a chair in one class, move it to another class, you go and grab another one. It's difficult. There's no real like extracurricular activities where you can go to the gym or pursue some sport. Not really. And I think sometimes the security would be bad. I mean, students commit suicide everywhere, but in Zimbabwe, like every year at our school, because the pressure just got too much, and you're working hard for not even being able to get a job after school. So, and it's also becoming real here with the economy, and like we're kind of in a recession right now, so it's difficult. But again, it comes back to resilience. You really have to, like, I have this thing in my head that's like super hard. I don't know what it is, but you really just have to be resilient. And I think always leaning on gratitude as well. But in terms of like Zimbabwe, we could do better with our educational institutions for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, interesting. So, what are some of the culture shock you've experienced so far? Because you mentioned about it that is one thing that made the process some kind of very hard for you. So, if you're comfortable to share some of your culture shocks.
Mm, I always find that question difficult, but maybe it's because like I'm just like adaptable. But I think obviously in Zimbabwe we're very community centered, so you can just wake up and like go to your friend's house, and they're not gonna ask you why are you here, when are you leaving, all of that stuff. You just go and you hang out. So it's very. I always used to have my friends over at my residence apartment, like when I was in Zimbabwe. But obviously here, I was just kind of by myself. But that's how people are, like everyone just kind of fends for themselves here. Um, what else would I think that's the main one. That's the main one, yeah. What
Oh,
about
Sense
you?
of
okay.
You
community
guys?
is
What about you
really
guys?
interesting here.
What was some thoughts for
Oh,
you?
for me, it has always been the accent. It's strange. And sometimes like I don't, when I meet some people, I don't want to even ask how are you. You know, Ghana by default, you ask someone how are you, it's I'm fine. Then you go your way. Sometimes you have to even ask, oh, are you sure you are fine? That the person will say I'm fine. But Charlie, here you ask how are you at your own risk.
We're gonna get into it.
They start writing thesis for you. Like
Hey,
yesterday,
you ask
my
how are
cat,
you at your own risk.
my
Oh, if you don't have
my dog
time, when
wasn't
you see,
well, and I
yeah,
took my dog to the hospital.
Yeah, it's the
if
small
you don't
talk.
have time, yeah, if you don't have time, oh, hi, hello, just go your way. But if you have
Yeah, it's
time, keep asking, how are you?
Panache, you talked about the sense of community. One thing that I always talk about, I think, even some people say, hey, me, when I come here, I don't want to mingle with Africans. I don't want to be friends with Africans. I respect that point of view, but a sense of community is very important in as an international student because you find most people find their sense of belonging over there. You find people who speak the same language, who eat the same food, who understand you feel they understand you better than like other people. Even though it's we also have our own disadvantages with mingling with the African community, a lot of that people say that a lot. But I think sense of community is very important for you as an international student. It really helps your mental health. It really helps your stability in this country. So it's very good that you shared that aspect of your culture shock when you say, hey, these people, everybody's doing that, very, I don't use very, it's very individualistic. Let me use that word. Very individual. Whatever they do is just about them, 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 them. But when it comes to the African setting, yeah, we have that community. Even though it also has its own disadvantages, but it's very important that you join or you find yourself in a community that makes you feel belonged in this city or in this country. All right, Ben.
Yeah. So before we continue, we want our audience as usual to know that this podcast is in partnership with AgroVisa. AgroVisa is a group of visa officers, and what they do is that they help people like you and I to be successful with their visa interview. You know, sometimes we may get full scholarship and we think that is all. We know some people that have had full scholarship but yet got denied with their visa, and you ask why. So, in order not for you to be a victim of that, that's why we are trying to encourage you that try as much as possible to schedule an interview with AgroVisa. They can review your documents, tell you where there are mistakes, where you can rectify, especially those of us who have gotten maybe one or two denials that you are not sure why you keep on getting denials. You think all your documents are intact. So as Panache just made us aware, when you get a denial, don't assume that maybe you are not perfect or you didn't do the right thing. There are maybe something that is just missing. Just try as much as possible and then contact AgroVisa, and they would be able to help you deal with that. So this is what I want to um, send through for us to take notice of. So Panache, I think the Zimbabweans are still listening to you.
Mhm. Are they commenting?
Yes, I think I've seen some. How close are you to Botswana?
Yeah, it's a neighboring country.
Neighboring country, because I've seen some comments from Botswana as well, and they're saying that, oh, we know you, we know you. So maybe we'll
Mm.
try and see if we can project those comments. So please, let's hear from you where you are watching us from, and then we will try as much as possible to project as many as we can. All
Okay.
right,
All right,
Arabi.
Ben. Let me be very biased here. We are going into Westlife. We are going to RHD stuff and the scholarship that it came with. As an RHD, I supervise IRA, so I basically know the rules of an RA, but for the sake of our audience and them who is not into Westlife, let's move into Westlife. So you go here and you got a scholarship as an RA. How how did you get that scholarship, especially
What
that you
is
came in as
what is the RA? Explain
RA
to
is
us, those of us who are not familiar with the US system.
okay. So RA is a resident assistant. Is that the same way you call it in your school? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's a resident assistant. So in Ghana, we would have called let's say floor reps. So every floor in the residential building has a rep. They look at the programming of of the floor. They do the bulletin boards. I mean, basically they make sure that residents on the floor are comfortable. So
Yeah.
let's just make it to our African setting. Let's call it floor rep. That is what we call the resident assistant. So residents living in a residence hall, they assist residents living in residence hall. Then are we okay?
Yeah.
Yes, we are okay.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. So you got, because I know IRAs, some people use that applying when they are in the sophomore year, the junior and the senior. It's okay if you apply in your VCS. But how did you move from Zimbabwe, get to US and apply and get the role? It's
No,
quite interesting journey.
I spent about a year without it when I had my scholarship, and then
Okay.
one of my friends was an RA too, which is crazy because I moved from Zimbabwe, and the dorm that I was put in, or like the apartment, with like it had 3 rooms, and the one room, a Zimbabwean was in that room, and she was like literally like we were around the same age, and she's Zimbabwean and she was an RA, so she really just like showed me the ropes.
Mm,
And so after the year, I think she may have put in a recommendation for me. I'm not sure if that was a thing that happened, but also I just made sure like I was prepared. She helped me, kind of like think about what questions they would ask and how best to answer them. And another thing is I was going to another campus where, because the college has 2 campuses. The one campus has like all the cool kids that are doing everything else outside of engineering. So for me, because I was moving to the other campus, which was like engineering, and you know how engineers are sometimes, they don't really have the personality, but I'm pretty dynamic. So I guess I came in there and they were like, out of all of these people that are going to the engineering campus, she seems to be like more of a community builder, and I got in. But I don't know what the criteria was that they chose me. But yeah, I didn't come straight from Zimbabwe and went to become an RA. It was like a year into it.
okay. So if you got here as a sophomore, no, as a junior, then it means your RA role, you were a senior when you got the RA position, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So you did the IRA for 1 year
Yes.
till you
Yeah.
graduated. All right, that makes sense. I understand. Okay, so what are some of the benefits of being a resident assistant?
Or you don't pay for accommodation,
Mm,
the main motivator. But also you just also again get a sense of community with some of the prefects of, of the of the college. So it's nice because like obviously they're high achievers, they're like very serious about what they're doing. You learn time management because you have to be there checking on the spaces. I think also I ended up getting into some electrical engineering work where like I actually continue to do building assessments and stuff. So that was kind of like an intro to that as well. I think the biggest thing is you again form another community. So I think when it comes to community building, you have to be dynamic. It's like how you know your friends. This is my friend for this is my friend for that. These are my friends for the other thing. So even if it when it comes to like okay, like having a group of Africans that you're it's not like that's the only community you should have. Like you can have other types of communities and friends that you choose for yourself because you find good people everywhere. Sometimes they say just because you're skin folk doesn't mean you're kinfolk. Meaning, if you have the same skin color, but it doesn't mean like that person is like your actual friend. So I think just being open to finding different people in different situations that are good people. Even there, I still have like friends that are, I can send a message and like talk to from that environment. So
Okay. So, apart from getting the room of free accommodation, did you get free meals? Were you on a meal plan as an RA?
no, I think I had to get a separate meal plan.
Okay.
Maybe it was discounted. I can't quite remember actually.
Okay. I
Mm.
mean, it's different from all also. Some schools you get a meal plan, some schools you get it discounted. Some schools too, it also depends on the building you are in. Some buildings are cooking buildings, so you are allowed to cook. Other buildings are not non-cooking buildings, so you have to mandatorily take the meal plan. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. But how was this impactful in your study abroad journey, being an RA? I mean, you are getting all the free accommodation, but how was it impactful in your journey as an international student?
I think it just helped me to be more organized and take on more responsibility. Um, Again, just being a community builder, I think is really important. In any situation you bring yourself, because you need to be able to influence other people, and those situations also help you hone in your leadership skills. Yeah, I think that's one of the other pieces of it. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay, so Arabi, I would like to come in here.
sure, sure.
Yes, so then both of you been RA before or still RA, resident assistant, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to know from your experience how easy or how difficult it is for students to get accommodation on campus.
Maybe you can take that, RB.
Okay, so student getting accommodation on campus, especially when they come in as their first year or freshman, is compulsory. You have to be on campus for 2 years. So your freshman and your sophomore years is compulsory. You have to be in campus residences for most of the schools in US. It differs one or two because of the accommodation crisis in some of the schools, but most schools it's compulsory for you to be in the campus residences from first and second
Whether
year.
masters or undergrad or
No,
PhD.
undergrad, undergrad,
Undergrad.
undergrad is
Okay.
compulsory. Masters, we have graduate houses that are very competitive because they are relatively cheaper. It's very competitive. So as for graduates, it's different. You don't have to be in the campus residences. No, no, no. But undergrad is compulsory. The only way you can move if you are a freshman or first year out of campus residences, sometimes if you are 21 years and above, or if you can show proof that your family lives, I think about 10 meters of something very close to the school. And these are based on school's policy, not uh, state policy or the federal policy. So some schools will say, okay, if you are 20 years, 21 years and above, you can live outside campus. But some schools are also saying, hey, regardless of your age, so far as you are a freshman year, you have to live on campus. So it's just like Ghana. If you are freshman year, they'll give you Adeshe, Nkrumah,
Ogwa,
ATL,
Vaku,
Ogwa.
Vaku, Vaku, Vaku.
They'll give you Adeshe, they'll give you Adeshe. Let me say Adeshe 10 times. They'll give you proper hall like Adeshe and all of that. Yes, so that is it. But you see, when you are moving from first year to second year, it's really difficult getting um accommodation in the residence. So I'm talking about back home in Ghana or in an African setting. So that is the same here. If you are coming in, it's relatively easy to get the campus residences done. Moving up the scale, that is your junior, your sophomore years, and all of that. You can still get, but priority is being given to those who are coming in. And then after, if there are more rooms available, they consider all these other people. So that is it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So, Panashi,
No.
this year, a lot of fresh students are coming. By the help of the
Oh,
Freddy Fit
I didn't
team,
say. I didn't wait. I didn't say Casford. Yes,
Arabic, Casford, Casford, there's so much to
Casford.
soon.
Casford. You let's continue. Financially, let's continue.
Okay, but actually, so I think this year the Freddy Fit team is assisting a lot of undergraduate students, especially those who just in Ghana we call it West African Examination Council. That's the exams you have to write before you can do your bachelor's. And the Freddy Fit team has taken upon ourselves to help these young ones whose vision is to study abroad. So we want to know from your side, since you have been into this student accommodation stuff, how can we easily assess student accommodation? Is there a cheaper, is what are the cheapest way to go by? And is it even free to get student accommodation for free on campus? What are the process? Just teach us the ways. That's all that we want.
No, it's not free to get accommodation on campus. And I think it may be sometimes more expensive than getting it off campus. Because again, like RB said, some spaces have places to cook, some places you don't have a place to cook. So you're forced to go to the dining hall. And also just generally you're not gonna get that for free. So when you're getting it on campus, I believe you just like my journey was a little different, but I think you just apply again through like the admissions office to get that accommodation. But like what was mentioned, after your first and second year, it becomes more competitive to be able to get that accommodation. So most people move off campus and also get accommodation from wherever else that they're able to get it. But it becomes a bit more difficult, and you also get it off campus because of like cost savings. So one place that is good to look for accommodation and housing is of course Cabo. Cabo
Can you
has
take your time? Is CABO, is it an abbreviation?
Cabo means welcome in our founders uh language, and I forget what it is. It may be Yoruba, may not be, but it's a
Okay.
West African language and means welcome.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, what you do is you go on the website and you create your account, and then you can easily get verified with your home country like data, and then you're able to start to browse for accommodation on the app.
Is it is it something like this?
Yes, this is Cabo. So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just you just type in cabo.ai and then you come here to this and you can see our different accommodations that are close to campus. You enter your zip code and then you're able to see and then enter your budget. Let's say if I put 94123 and then my budget is maybe 15. You can search and find some properties that are around and they're already verified as well. And you also get verified once you click join here. You enter your email and then you get a link to download the app. Once you download the app, you go through the verification process.
Panashi, please. We don't want to get confused here.
Okay, what
So
question
we
do you
want
have?
you to take your time because yes, because I'm sure this can help a lot of us, especially those of us who wants to come to US this year. So
Yeah, please
if
feel
you
free to
can
ask
take
me
your
anything.
time, yes, we will let people ask questions, but I just want you to take your time and then break it, like Arabia, I'm forgetting the time. So you break your time, take your time, and then you explain it slowly, because this is something new we are hearing, and this all that the Freddy Fet is all about. We just want the people to know what is not discovered. so that at least it can help them in their journey. So you take your time and then you explain it for us to get what the whole Cabo is all about. Please,
Okay.
is this clear?
Hmm.
Okay.
Can you?
So Cabo is specifically for those who will not live on campus. So Cabo is for off-campus students, right, Benashi?
Yes, this is for
Okay.
off-campus living.
Off
Is it for
campus. Okay.
undergraduate? Is it for undergraduate or graduate students or anybody?
It's for anyone, even if you have graduated. I can still go on here and look for accommodation on Cabo. Even
Oh,
domestic students can come here and look for accommodation on Cabo.
so
And
even if I'm a full-time worker, I can still come to Cabo.
yes, so Cabo is not just for students. As long as you're
Okay.
like an immigrant who wants to come into the country and get a long-term lease, you are able to get it here because you don't need your credit score to be able to
Hmm.
get housing, a long-term lease. Most places you have to find the landlords directly, and then once you find them, you go in and you submit your credit, like your social security number, and then they pull your credit and stuff like that. But on Cabo, with your home country data, which is like your passport, your admissions letter, and any other verification information you can
Oh,
provide.
so you mean if right now if I get admission to study in the US, I don't have to travel to US before I can search for accommodation on Cabo. I can do it from wherever I am at the moment.
Yes. And you you just need to submit what you have showing that you can legally be in the United States. So one of the things of
Wow.
course that they run uh before you start to live somewhere is a criminal record check, right? Like a background check, which Cabo also will do, because once you submit your visa, an approved visa, for you to get a visa, you have to get a police clearance anyway, right? You've gotten your background checked already. So those are some of the things that Cabo will take in and will verify your identity, and then will also show you as verified to the landlords themselves. So they are able to take you in, because what they want is these certain verifications. So we're a platform that brings that together, landlord verification. As you can see, our properties here will say verification pending, or identity verified. That's also for the safety of the students themselves, or the tenants, so that they know that these properties have been verified, or they're still waiting to be verified. And on the other side, you are also shown as verified, and your checks are taken care of without needing a social security number. So that's the beauty of it. Like I was explaining earlier, where we're really trying to democratize access to housing, because you will find people on the street when they come in here into this country. I was lucky because like I knew some people, or like I had gotten on campus accommodation and all of that stuff. But some people will come here and not even know where to start, and Cabo really helps you to have a footing. Because another thing that happens, right, is you are applying for accommodation from outside of the country, and the landlord said, oh, I can't verify you that you're a real person or whatever, so pay me 6 months in advance. And you need to find that lump sum of like so much money. But with Cabo, again, all of that is you get that relief where you can get verified, and you don't need to pay a huge upfront cost. Any
Oh.
questions?
Mm.
Does
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So what?
I think we may have a lot of questions. So please, you can drop your questions in the comment box, and then those of us who want to come live too, we may share the link so that you can join us live. Arabi, please continue.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. So does Cabo give extra services to people? Like, so I have seen the app, I have registered, I have my accommodation booked, and
Mhm.
I come to the airport. Will Cabo come and pick me up from the airport to my room or to my apartment?
I don't believe that there is that feature there, but that's great feedback. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Uh, that's a great feature, actually. to be able to book rides on Cabo.
Yeah, so that it takes you directly to your. See, this is cool. You have to pay consultation fee. Oh. This is what I mean. It's one of
Yeah,
the things the Fed effect does. We look at whatever you are doing, we give our feedbacks, and I hope that it's implemented so that
yeah,
people
yeah.
get, because from the airport to your apartment or your house, if you are an immigrant or a new person here, it's tough.
Yeah,
Finding
yeah.
your way around the stuff. So if Cabo can
Yes.
add that, it would be very necessary. Okay, so I have seen an apartment on Cabo website. I want to rent it with Ben. Can I do that, or you have to pair me with a roommate or an apartment mate or something?
Like you already know like the specific place that you want to go to? Is that what you're
I
saying?
have seen the room, I've seen the apartment, I've seen the building. I like it, but I want to come in with Ben. Like I want myself and Ben to book, let's say, two-bedroom apartment in
Oh,
your on Cabo. Is that feature available?
yes. Obviously, Ben also has to get verified. But
Mm,
I believe once you have been paired up and like you've gotten this lease with a specific place, you are then able to directly communicate with them and then just tell them like this person, this is their profile as well, and we're gonna be needing 2 rooms or something like that.
okay,
You can directly communicate with them once you have the property details.
okay. So Cabo, I have registered everything. My budget is 1,500 or 1,005. I put it down. Is Cabo going to take security deposit again, like another 1,500 before um you give me my keys to my room?
So that is property policy, which is like what their deposit is. For example, like I when I stayed in Nashville, my deposit was $500, but it wasn't like the same amount for the rent. I think you're asking like, do you pay a deposit that is equal to 1 month's rent,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think that depends on each property and what they do, because it's not everyone who takes that much in deposit. um
Hmm.
and you always get your deposit back too, if you haven't messed up anything in that place.
Oh,
Mm,
okay.
okay.
Interesting. So
So you get
I
it
want to.
fully. You get it fully if you haven't messed up anything.
I think,
Because
yeah.
I know we know of landladies, landlords who would just start whatever fight with you, or you, even if you haven't messed up with anything, just because they don't want you to give you your security deposit, you just deduct an amount for maintenance, whatever, whatever. Am I going to have the same challenge with Cabo?
Um, I'm not. I don't believe that that is part of. I think that's now more a you and your landlord and what you guys have agreed on. Um, n- we're not doing any disputes except for like, let's say you're paying over our platform and there's something going on with like the payments. You can dispute like the payments in terms of what's being processed on the app for a monthly payment, if that makes sense. Like if there's a call back or if there's something like that. Those are some of the things. But in terms of like deposits, after you stayed there for let's say 5 years and then you bring in Cabo, like they're not giving me my deposit. That is not part of what we're doing right now. But again, I'll take that into consideration.
Okay. Somebody is
Oh,
asking.
okay.
Okay, no. Okay, Ben will take the questions in the comment section. So Ben.
All right. Yeah. So before we go in for the questions in the comment box, Taneshi, please, I would like to know,
Mhm.
um, do you operate across all United States, or you are just into just one state?
Yes, we're operating in all states. Yeah, we're operating in all states.
All states.
That's
Oh,
a
okay.
lot.
So that I think this is a great news. So those of us whose visa are approved, and or those of us ready to go for our visa, we can also put in our plans that, especially if you don't know where you are going to stay, you can. You said Carbo.ai, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can. I'm typing in the comment box Carbo.ai, normal AI.
Yep. Just
Yes.
right there.
So the
Carbo.
cargo, please, it is not cargo. Those of us saying cargo, it is not cargo,
Oh,
it's carbo.
Kaabo dot
B-O
AI.
dot
BO.
AI. So yes, not cargo. We are not cargoing anything here. It's cargo. So I've
Yeah.
shared it. I've shared it on the platform, on the comment box, so we can take it from there. So let's quickly take some of the questions on the apartment. So this one is from the Mele. Is it Mele? The smiling God. Hey, huh, Asembeba. He says, great presentation. My question is, can one make payment by installment? And can one also change his or her house along the run after attaining a house? Thank you.
So how rent payment works in general in the US is you have to pay your full rent unless there are other platforms like there was one that kept on popping up on mine. It's kind of like Klarna. If you guys know Klarna, it's like it makes you pay in parts, right? But then that's something that you have to get approved for, and it's a separate plug-in, which is very possible to plug it into Carbo. Um,
Oh.
Again, that is going to be something that I will communicate with our engineers, but that's a partnership on the back end where they do their own kind of checks. But initially, you have to pay your full amount, and again, it's we have our own verification process, or like our rating system that doesn't depend on a social security number. So that's a partnership where we have to go in and say to these guys, this is how we're rating these people, and if that works for them, then they can put it into their system. So please, thank you for that. We'll take it into consideration. Actually, I think that's a great partnership and a great plugin to have. For right now, you get your lease, and there's an amount which is this is the amount for rent, and you pay that rent amount. And then yes, if you want to change a house, you're signing a new lease, right? So you just end the lease that you have according to the terms of the lease, because leases, some of them are month to month, but most of them are like year-long leases. So if you're done with your year and you want to go to another house, it's fine. If they have month-to-month leases, then you can also do that and change. You just have to go through a process of like finding another place on the app, and then getting, you've already gotten verified, so you don't have to get verified again. You just have to find that place that you want to sign another lease.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Thank you. So we have another one. It says, can I stay in my apartment with my chain? So let's say maybe they are chains. Can they stay together in one room, or they
Yeah,
have to
I think
each and everyone to get
yes.
one?
I think this was asked before by RB in terms of
No,
like
Arabi own is quite different.
uh,
So I don't know the mind of the one who asked, but probably he wants to know if they can stay in the same room.
um normally that you can, I think you can have a roommate in a room. Again, these are like things that each apartment will say. So as long as that person I think is splitting the rent, you can have someone in there. They want their rent, it all depends. I'm trying to think. I had a roommate, but they had their own room. And then if you now want to put two beds in one room, uh it's possible. But it's not supposed to be something that is on the back end where like you're trying to put someone in without them knowing. Then that means there's three roommates in the room, and you, if the apartment is $1,500 and it's two people, it's gonna be split in two ways. If it's three people, it's gonna be split in three ways. All they want is that at the end of the day, on their payment portal or whatever, the full amount is paid. I would believe, yeah. And it also
Okay.
depends on the size of the room. And if you guys are staying on the same bed and you know each other, I think I would believe that that's fine. But it's not supposed to be a thing of, because you're not allowed to have, let's say, someone come and stay with you without the apartment knowing for over like 7 days. Those are some of the things that are in the leases. So you have to make sure that you're reading a lease properly. That's why on Cabo you have different leases that are from different apartments, right? That's when you sign the lease, what I'm saying. So the lease will tell you what some of these things as well. So my lease was saying that if you have a visitor, the visitor cannot come for more than 7 days. If you have a roommate, you're splitting the rent. Those kind of things are the things that are in the lease.
Oh, okay, interesting. Arabi, before we continue with the next question, can you talk to us about Lemfi?
Sure. So
Can we
Lemfi,
come for loan from Lemfi?
you see that is so Lemfi, Lemfi, hey, Lemfi, yeah, Lemfi. So Lemfi is an
Hey, I
app.
didn't show we.
What can I say with Diago? Me ambassador papa. Ochina kwa mesha the next week mesha maybe different. So Lemfi is an app. I mean, if you're in the US, UK, Canada, it helps you, and in the European countries as well. It helps you send money back home to supporting African countries, Ghana, Liberia, Senegal, and other supporting African countries. There are a lot of African countries that Lemfi now supports. So what do? You just go to Google Play Store, App Store, and then download Lemfi and use the code ARABE, ARABEE, to sign up. When you sign up and you send your first $100, Lemfi gives you free $20 cash back. Just take it. I mean, we are just good people like that. So give you free $20. And then the more you send money, you earn rewards from Lemfi as well. If you also refer people to Lemfi also give you the referral $20 as a referral bonus when they send their first $100 to Ghana. And if you are in Ghana and you are listening, tell your friends, family, and those in the UK, US, Canada, and the European countries send money to you through Lemfi. They shouldn't go to other corners and you have to go and join the queue and all of that. Tell them to download Lemfi. They will just send money to your mobile money app and then phew, or your bank account, and then you get it in seconds, in less than a minute, you get your money. So Lemfi is saying that now you send money directly from your bank. You don't have to even load your Lemfi account. Just send it directly from your bank to whichever account that you want to send the money to. So Lemfi, we have a lot of perks for you. Come and enjoy and use my code. Do not forget to use my code ARABE.
Arabi.
ARABEE. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so please, those of us who just joined us, today we have in our studio Paneshi from Zimbabwe, who went to study in the US as a transfer student. And she was lucky to become RA, which is resident assistant. And then through that, she has joined one of the organizations that are working together to make student as assessing student accommodation in the state very easy and simple, which is known as Cabo. So now we are discussing on Cabo how to secure good accommodation in the United States as a freshman. You know, sometimes if you travel, and I know someone who's left outside for 3 days, you know, all because she didn't know anyone and she was stranded, you know. So sometimes we share this information just to help you to to make the process easier and simple for you. You know, one thing or one vision of the Fred Fair team is that we don't want you to go through the problem or the struggles that those who started the process went through. And that is the main purpose of the Study Abroad podcast. So in as much as they are sharing their stories, they are telling us their journey, you can also learn from their success and at the same time learn from their failures to make the process easier for you. And that is that. That's why we encourage you to join us always, to like the live session and also to share the link so that those in the rural areas especially, it's not for those in Accra, those of us at the Bolly Bamboy, the Gosu and Zimbabwe. Do you have a lot of villages?
Yeah.
Yes. So please, I think one of your classmates joined. I don't know if I can see her comment, but one of your classmates joined and she has a very good comment that she studied with you in school. So that is it's a great plus for
Oh,
you. If I
really?
see that comment, yeah, I think it's here. She says, I'm from Zimbabwe too. We studied at the same university. I'm planning to come to US for masters. That
Oh,
is Jefta
yes.
Lakun Jeya. Hey, today I'm pronouncing Zimbabwe name. Do you know Jefta?
Okay. I mean, I the Jefta I know is my relative, so this one may be a different Jefta, but I'm glad that they're thinking of coming here as well. And would definitely, I think, if I can put in my name is just like Panashe Sivindani on Facebook. So if he needs to talk to someone, we can talk. If he has
Yeah,
my
so
my
is it only Facebook that they can reach out to you?
yeah, Facebook will be good.
The Facebook name again?
PANASHE, and then my last name SIVINDANI.
So Panashi,
Mm.
then S-A,
SIV
S-I,
VINDANI.
uh-huh,
NDANI.
Ndani. Sivindani,
Mm.
something like that, right? Okay, so
Yes.
please, I've shared her Facebook handle at the comment box. So if you want to link up with Panashi, you can do so through the
Yeah.
by using the Facebook handle name. And I've shared the StreamYard link as well. So those of us who wants to join us live, you can click on the link and then you'll be allowed to talk to Panashi. Okay. Arabi.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So back to you. Any question left for?
sure. And I should be wrapping up and taking some questions from um those from our audience who are watching. But so now undergrad is over. You have your degree now. You said in August you're moving to UK for your masters, right?
Yes.
Okay. So from your when you said you completed in 2023, what have you been up to? Is it just the carbo or you've done other things from 2023 to 2026 that we're talking now?
I've just been working on my with my degree. So I worked in data centers for a little bit, and just like electrical engineering work, more hands on. But that was just a bit too much for me in terms of having to go on site, the travel time, and all of that stuff. So now I'm working with Cabo. Definitely something that I enjoy more, especially because of like the community aspect, and the team is very dedicated. Like I said, we're not just doing this to build another app, but this is really to bring back agency to people, so they don't have to be left on the street and lose their dignity by not having somewhere to live. And because right now after COVID we have seen that the way we live and work is different. People are traveling around the world, and on Cabo you can see properties across Europe, across in Australia we just went live as well. So you're able to, before you go somewhere, be able to get a place for you to live. And that again really puts back agency into people's lives. Like, it's a core mission for myself, serving other people, and building businesses that not only extract from people but actually bring impact. And that's exactly what Cabo does.
Okay. So you are Cabo. These 3 years you've worked in other agencies and with Cabo. Did
Hmm.
you work on your OPT or what visa did you work on?
Yeah, my STEM OPT.
Oh, some of it for 3 years. Okay, for your 3 years, I guess. So your OPT ends this year. That's why you are moving out, right?
Yeah.
Have you or did you consider any PR pass?
Um, I am, there's a few different things, but I'd rather not speak about my visa stuff right now. Yeah.
You are at liberty to respond to whichever question you feel you're comfortable on. So it's okay if you don't want to talk about it. But we appreciate that you are very you were very open to tell us that you're not going to talk about it now. I mean, especially this climate that we are in and all of that. Nobody wants to disclose their visa and then their status. So, but you just made us understand that you were working with your OPT for the 3 years, right?
Hmm.
Okay, all right. So now you are done, undergraduate.
Arabi,
Moving on.
my problem is, when you people are using your terms, you confuse us. OPT, OTP, TTP. We don't see topo. We are not in US.
So now, she didn't want to talk about what OPT is.
I mean, you guys can talk about it, but I would rather not talk about it in relation to my own visa statuses and
No, no,
stuff.
no, no, no. Just make a general what OPT is, not to you.
You can feel free to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to talk about it, I mean, not specifically to you, but what is OPT? If any international students is listening, what is OPT?
Yeah, you can feel free to explain that to them about the whole OPT situation. I'll just sit out the visa conversation.
Okay, that's fine. I guess it's so. When we talk about OPT, is optical practical training. As an international student, when you are done with your undergraduate or masters, they give you either 1 year or 3 years to work. So 1 year is for the non-STEM, and then 3 years is for those in the STEM. So it's optical practical training. That is after you are done with your studies, your undergraduate or your master's degree study. So you work on your OPT, and then during your OPT 1 year, you look at other PR ways or platforms that you want to transition to whatever, or you want to just move out, whatever you want to do after that. That's your own discretion. But OPT just means the optical practical training, what you do after your 1 year, after your years of studying, either your undergraduate or your master's. I mean, that's what I can talk about. It has nothing to do with me. It's just a general thing of what OPT means. Optional practical training. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
hmm,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so do you have more questions?
Yeah, so the more question is always the last question.
Oh no, I'm talking about questions from the comment section. If you look at some of them,
Oh, okay, okay.
comfortable answering.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure about this, but let's look at it. This is from Selena. He said, please, can I get funding as a transfer applicant to a Canadian university? I'm applying with HND. I also want to know if IELTS is part of the requirement. I th-
I have no idea.
Tanashi, you want to touch on this?
Well, I have not done any application to Canadian universities, but I would say some kind of English language test is necessary if you're going to be learning in English as your primary language. But I do know that in Canada they also speak French, so I don't know if like there's anything that happens with that. But I do know if you're gonna apply, I did do my IELTS when I was applying to the UK. I think when you're applying to the US, you only do your SAT, and then there's like SAT that is English as well. But I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while, like it's been 5 years ago, so I can't quite remember. But I know nothing about Canadian universities though.
Oh, okay. Thank
I think
you.
someone asked if Cabo is only for students. So Cabo is not only for students. It's for anyone who's moving from across the world to go somewhere. You can get accommodation and verified on Cabo and get verified listings on Cabo. So you can also, even if you're done with like being a student, like I said, I can also still sign up on Cabo and be matched with the landlord and sign a lease. So it's pretty much for everyone, but we are focusing on housing international students because again, it's a very vulnerable state that you're in, that you need that support and assistance. So that's kind of where we're focusing and why we're focusing on that on this call, especially with the Fred effect, because they're here to also help you with your to make it seamless for you to study abroad.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So, Panashi, this is a quick one. Assuming I am studying in US on a student loan, can I use the same statement to apply for an apartment in Cabo, especially if the loan can pay for that?
Yes, those are some of the documents that you can upload on Cabo. You can upload different kinds of documents. So, for example, you can upload that you've paid your school fees and it's paid, and then also that your loan covers accommodation, and you upload that. We can take that information.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Let me see. Arabi, you if you have any question, you can pass it through, and I'm checking the comment
Mm,
box for.
I think basically she's touched on everything. She's touched on what she's supposed to. Okay, so let me just ask you. Now you are done with your graduate, your undergrad and everything. If you were to go back in time, what would you do differently with
I
the
think, like I
application
said
process
before,
and everything?
yeah, I think it's mostly about just being intentional with with what your path is going to be. I know sometimes it's difficult. You just have to deal with what you have, but I like I said, where my colleague, we were in high school together. They ended up at Stanford, I ended up at Kennesaw. Like, what did they do differently that I could have done differently as well? I think those are some of the things where you have to be extremely intentional about the path that you're going to take in life. Sometimes it doesn't work out, like I said, some applications you get rejected. You have to keep it moving, but again, um try to have a clear understanding of the path that you want to take. That's maybe what I would do different. But I'm still grateful for my journey, and things happen how they're supposed to happen, so I'm not too caught up in like the past of I know I'm very privileged. A lot of people would love to be in the situations that we are. When we're in those situations, we don't practice gratitude. But those are the things we prayed for. Those are the things someone else would be like, if I had this, I would be very happy with it. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, which people do you want to give a shout out to?
Me? I want to give a
Yeah.
shout out to Cabo. Everyone, go on Cabo, sign up, check it out. You, even if maybe you don't need it today, you will need it one day, because regardless, we're all moving around. Even if you are in the US already, go on Cabo and find your lease. Like I said, we're live in Australia as well, and we'll be coming to Europe soon.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if anybody
Thank you.
wants to get in touch with you, you said just Facebook. Can you give your Facebook name again for people who just joined?
So if you scroll up, you'll be able to see it. But it's my other Facebook contact is, let me put it in the chat so that you guys can see it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is my my other tag.
Mm.
Let me double check. Actually, let me look on my Facebook. But yeah.
Okay, so Panache is saying that if you want to get in touch with Asian undergraduate students who wants to move to the US to study, please get in touch with her on Facebook and she'll do her best to assist you the
Yeah, and you can
best
also
way
find,
that she
oh,
can.
sorry to cut you off. You can also find Cabo online. So you just go to Cabo. Most of our um tags or our social media handles are Cabo. I think they also gave you guys our tags when we were planning this live. Mercy should have sent those to you, and it's just Cabo.ai. Okay, so Instagram is Cabo.ai. I'm just putting it in the chat, everyone, so you guys can see it. TikTok, same thing, Cabo.ai. X Cabo _AI. Yeah. So you can also reach out to the pages on those pages, and we'd be happy to assist you. Go on the website. There's also, you can contact us from our website on support at hello@cabo.co. So
Yeah,
hello@cabo.co.
I hope it's free to contact you, right?
For me, it's not free. To contact Cabo, they'll be happy to reach out. Joking, it's free. Yeah, you can contact. I think it's, yeah, contact through the Cabo team as well. You get faster responses and more accurate responses as well if you contact through Cabo. For me, I mean, if you just want to learn more about, my journey coming to the US and stuff like that, I can try. I'm good at connecting people, so I know some people that have also gone on the journey now of like their masters, like that person was asking about. So I can try to connect people with other people that I know who are on similar paths.
Okay, that's
Interesting.
no trouble. Even if you can't help them personally, you are ready to refer them to people. Oh, of course, they're an RA. As an RA, you are a referral agent. You refer people to the appropriate centers. So you're going to refer them to the appropriate people to help them. That's very thoughtful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ben, anything else?
Yeah, so
Sorry.
Paneshi, so what advice do you have for your sisters and brothers in Zimbabwe, especially those who are willing to study abroad but they don't know how?
I would say don't, and I used to say this to my friend a lot, and then he ended up coming. Um, don't wait for someone to be like, oh, do this exactly. Now go to this website. Now go to that website. Do your own research. Ask good questions. It looks like I'm the only one left now. This is my podcast, but ask good questions and take initiative by yourself to say, this is the progress that I have made. Now I need help with this. Now I need a bit more clarification on this. But don't think that someone is supposed to go there and put in applications for you and do these things and send you direct links to things. Do some research. We all have, access to information right now. So yeah, that's my feedback. I guess I was like, this is my podcast now.
It is yours. It is yours.
Yeah, we wanted the people in Zimbabwe to see you clearly so that they know that their audition is speaking.
Okay, yeah.
Their only
Yeah.
own Paneshi is speaking. I'm sure wherever they are, they'll be very happy to hear from you.
Yeah, shout
At
out to
least if you are not able to send them, if you are not able to send them some dollars, at least they have heard your voice.
Okay.
All right.
Ben?
Aravi?
Okay, let me go before you wrap up. So again, Lemfi use Lemfi to send money to supporting African countries. Lemfi has the best rates. Lemfi has zero charges, and Lemfi has the fastest time that your money will get sent to whoever you want to send your money to. So download Lemfi when you send your first $100. Lemfi gives you $20 cash back. Some of those aspects of my social media handles, of course, I'm going to put in. TikTok is RB for you Aminsa. Facebook RB for you Aminsa. Instagram is Audrey for you Aminsa. But if you type just RB or Ms. RB, you're going to find me on all social media platforms. So Facebook. But if you want to do study abroad, please do it on TikTok. Send me a message on TikTok. I'm very active on TikTok than my other social media platforms. So TikTok is RB for you Aminsa on TikTok. Then we can talk study abroad. But at this moment, any study abroad thing, please contact the Freddy site because there's a lot going on and I don't have the time at the moment. So just contact the Freddy site and everything that you need. So, no, I said Lemfi, not Lemfi, 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 Lemfi. And if you see the announcement scrolling over there, it's the Lemfi, Lemfi. So if you're in Ghana, please tell your people in the US, UK, Canada, and the European countries to download the app. What I would just end and say that just as Tanashi said, if you want somebody to help you the study abroad journey, don't just come empty-handed, empty-headed, like you haven't done it, haven't done your research. You just come to the table with something so that the person will push you with the knowledge that they know. We are not asking you to know everything. Most of us started just as Tinashe also said, she started when she didn't know it all, but she knew something. So when you know something, people who are likely to support you would support you. It'll be easy on both sides because if I say something, you're aware of what I'm talking about. But if you don't have anything going on, you don't done your research, you just come to people. I mean, the Fed effect team is there. You can book. He is there. He there. They are there. Just schedule with them on Instagram, and then they can help you with that. But if you just want your friend to help you, at least please do some kind of research, and then it will make it easier for your friend to help and support you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad that I joined this week. Fanashi is such a wonderful and amazing young lady. I wish
Oh.
her all the best in UK, and I pray. Are you a Christian?
I believe in God.
You believe in God? Yeah, okay. So if you believe in God, okay. I pray that
Thank
you
you.
have you eat the best of the land when you get to UK, and everything will fall in pleasant places for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank
Thank
you so much, Arabi, for such an insightful information. And Paneshi, we just want to say thank you so much for honoring our invitation. In fact,
you.
we've learned a lot from you, honestly.
Oh,
If
thank
even if for nothing, I'm sure we will never forget Kawo.
you. That's good.
Mm-mm,
Yes. Well, my
Yeah.
never
boss is
forget.
happy, so as long as he's happy. But no, I feel very passionately about it as well, and I
Yeah.
can't wait to continue to grow with you guys. Thank you for the feedback. That's something that we're definitely going to put into practice, and feel free to always reach out to the team. Amazing team, very dedicated to this mission. And I also appreciate you guys. We're on this journey together. We're all just trying to democratize like access to information to just make people's lives better. So I appreciate you guys being so organized, setting up this platform for people to learn. Because I always say, like, outside of money, all of this stuff, like, people giving their time is more than it's a huge, because you can't put a value on someone's time. So the fact that you can sit here and do this regularly for people is really important. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's because when we invite some of you people, you honor our invitation, and that is what is keeping this Saturday podcast moving. So we wish that in the future you honor our invitation as well. I'm sure by then you'll be the world ambassador for Cabo, so you can give us some discount
Oh,
and other stuff.
of course. I got you guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So I think we are very grateful to everyone, especially those of us who were able to join. We understand how, especially those in Ghana, we understand how expensive to get data, but you always make it a point to join us, and we are grateful. And it's because of you, that is why the Study Abroad podcast is always showcasing on live. We really appreciate your time, and God willing, next week we'll come to you with another fantastic episode.
Another
So,
one.
yes, so if you don't see us again, then we shall meet next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.